Okay, so we're going to go and work some examples in section 2.5, doing some word problems. Uh, Hopefully you pick up some of the tips and some of the tricks that I've learned over the years to go and work some of the word problems. By far, I think the most important one is to put the word problems into your own words. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, the first one we'll do is number 13. A number is increased by 5. It's 2 times the number. Find the number. So anytime we see a number, we want to label that as x, as our variable x. A number is increased by 5. That means x plus 5. Again, take baby steps. Break it into smaller things, and it's a lot easier to work with. The word is means equals 2 times the number. 2 times x. Find the number. So now all we got to do, we have our equation. We just got to solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and just subtract x from both sides. We got 5 is equal to 2x minus x is just equal to x. So x is equal to 5, and sure enough, that's our answer. This next one's a little different. It actually gives us something real to look at. A rental car agency charges $200 per week plus 0.15 per mile to rent a car. How many miles can you travel in 1 week for $320? So we see that the rental car charges $200 per week. Let's go and write that out. $200 per week base fee. And then an additional 0.15 dollars per mile that we use the car. If we have $320 of a budget, how many miles can we travel in 1 week, and we're only given 1 week? Well, we know that right away we got to subtract the $200 per week fee, and that leaves us with $120 to spend on mileage. Okay, $120 to spend on mileage. So if we are charged 15 cents per mile, how many miles can we ride with $120? So you figure $1 gets us roughly about 6 miles. Okay, and so every dollar gets us about 6 miles. Let's just keep that in mind. So the first thing we're going to do is say, okay, we have 120 miles, $120 is equal to 15x. X is going to be the number of miles times 0.15. And the reason I know this is because the total cost we're going to be charged is going to be the number of miles times the fee per mile. Right? We have to use a little bit of our intuition and read things carefully to figure this out. So the number I have, the amount I have available is going to equal the rate times the amount. Okay, so if I want to now just get x all by itself, I divide both sides by 0.15. And 120 divided by 0.15 give us 800. Okay, this one deals a little bit with length and width. A bookcase is to be constructed as shown in the figure below. So here's all the shelves. The length is to be 3 times the height. So right away, let's write that down. Length is equal to 3W. 60 feet is available, so we'll only have 60 feet of lumber. 60 feet of lumber available for the entire project. Find the length and height of the bookcase. So the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out how much wood is going to take to construct this whole thing if we only have 60 available. We want to use the maximum amount of wood to make this so we can make it as big as possible. So looking at this guy, we know the amount of wood needed is going to equal, how many H's do we have? 1, 2, 3 H's plus 1, 2, 3, 4 L's. So here's why it's so important to draw things out. Because here's one L, here's another L, here's another L, here's another L, and here's our 3 H's. 1, 2, 3. And then up here we saw from reading the problem that L is equal to 3W, so we can go ahead and rewrite this guy to say, okay, 3H plus 4, and everywhere I see an L, I'm going to go just put 3W, or 3H, I'm sorry, this should be 3H. We didn't use W in this case, so 3H. So if we go ahead and solve this, or combine our H's, we're going to get 3H plus 4 times 3H is 12H. 3H plus 12H is equal to 15H. So 15H is going to be our what we have combined for all the wood. And if we have 60 available, we find out H by dividing 15 on both sides by 15 on both sides. And we know that H is now going to equal 60 divided by 15, which is equal to 4. So with H equal to 4, I'm going to label over here, how long is L? Well, we know L is 3 times H, so this is going to be 12. So the dimensions of our bookcase are going to be 4 feet by 12 feet. Okay, the last problem we're going to do. This year's salary was $52,800. So this year we earn $50,220. And that's an 8% increase over last year's salary. What was last year's salary? So this year's salary is going to be equal to last year's salary, right, which is X, plus the 8% increase we got, and the increase was an 8% increase of last year's salary, so it's going to be that. And now we know we can't use percents when we solve problems, so we have to rewrite the X plus, we convert 8% to decimals by moving decimal 2 places to the left. That turns out to be 0.08. We got 50,220 over here. Now we combine our x's. 1x plus 0.08x is equal to 1.08x. We're going to divide both sides by 1.08. That turns to 1.08. X is equal to, well, I can't really do that one in my head, so I want to make sure by doing something over here. I'm going to go to my programs, and you guys all have this too if you if you're running Windows. I go to accessories, and we have a calculator, a free calculator for us to use. We can use scientific or regular. This one is already set to scientific, so we're going to go ahead and check this calculation. 50220 divided by 1.08 is equal to 46,500. Sure enough, that's the answer in the back of the book. Alright, well, hopefully you learned a little bit of tricks on how to do these problems. Just take your time and make sure that you write things out and draw things out as you're able to. Good luck.